Smith fan out here. But let's kick it, as always, to the intro here, ladies and gentlemen.
This is Tom Grossi, and you're watching the PackReacts podcast. Let's go.
That's all they give him? That's all they give him?
Classic. Welcome to PackReacts. I'm your host tonight, not Mike. Jeremy Heller, that's me, folks. Mike is unavailable tonight, so I got a special guest. Cole is in the house tonight, folks. Cole is in the house. There we go. Cole is in the house, everybody. So we've had his cousin, Allison. She was on before. Now we get Cole here tonight, folks. So we get to keep the Packer fan. We get to have the guests continuing here. Someone at least on besides me tonight. So we got that. And, of course, tonight, folks, we're going to be talking about how Cole became a Packers fan because that's what we do here on the show. We always like to hear about the origin between how every guest became a Packers fan, whether it was from out of state, whether it's in the state. We don't usually have that many in states, but we're going to find out very soon. And, of course, we're going to talk about my trip at the Packers-Bengals game where I sat in the 50-yard line and also talk about a preview of this Packers-Cardinals game and also recap, too, of course, again, of the Packers-Bengals game of what could have been an easy blowout, but it wasn't. And my prediction was almost right. I was 1 point off from it being correct. I said 27-17. Did not happen for you folks, unfortunately. But the Packers did win, so that's all that matters here, folks. But, Cole, how you doing today?
I'm good, Jeremy. It's an honor to be on the show. Never thought that I would be going on a Packer podcast, to be honest.
There we go. So kind of deep dive in as we usually go to. Cole, how did you become a Packers fan?
So I grew up about 45 minutes south of Green Bay and was born and raised a Packer fan. My uncle's a stakeholder. Great uncle's a stakeholder. Dad always watched the games growing up. I used to go to Packer practice as a kid and ride the bikes. That was always fun.
Nice.
Some notable players I got: Clinton Dix, Zadarius Smith.
Ooh.
Some autographs. I got Jordan Love's autograph, Devontae Adams' autograph, James Starks.
Nice.
Many others.
Nice.
First ever game was 2014 Patriots at Packers. My cousin is a big Patriots fan, and we went to that game, Sunday Night Football, Tom Brady versus Aaron Rodgers, and that was a blast.
Nice.
And second game, I've only been to two, Rams-Packers back in 2022 or 23, one of those ones, and they won that game. Baker Mayfield started for the Rams.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Speaking of folks, for Zadarius Smith, he just retired about, what was it? No.
It was yesterday, I believe.
Oh, yesterday. Okay. Thank you, Cole. Yeah, he retired yesterday, folks. So, Eagle fans, you can go get that great Zadarius Smith jersey for his 3-week tenure there. So, great jersey to get. But for me, and maybe for Cole, I always remember as a Packer, it was harsh at the end of obviously that Packer tenure, but you can't forget the moments that he had, like the sack dance, of course, and
the Smith brothers. Him and Preston Smith were a very dynamic duo.
They were the best of watching and most fun duos to watch. When I didn't even think that Packers were going to do well with them at first, and then once you see them celebrate that, I'm like, okay, I think we got this. Seeing like it's the Bass brothers out here, but yeah, it definitely is, folks. But cool, kind of going like you just mentioned again with you going to the games and your origin of how you became a Packers fan. What has been some of your favorite Packer moments besides the Super Bowl, of course?
Well, I don't really remember the Super Bowl. Favorite Packers moments? Gotta think. When they beat the Cowboys first year with Jordan Love as the starting quarterback.
Okay.
That was a blast to watch.
Nice.
Didn't think it would happen, and we blew them out at Dallas. That was fun. Another favorite one, the 2014 NFC divisional round against the Cowboys.
There you go.
Yeah. Watching that game from home. They don't talk about the NFC Championship game that year, but that divisional round game was really fun to watch. Very good game.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, the way I always try to forget about that, Cole, is I just think about what happens to the Seahawks the next week, and it's the Malcolm Butler interception, which saves our butts. That's the only reason why they don't talk about that game at all, unless they have to bring up a Packers-Seahawks game, and that's the only thing they got to bring up then. But yeah. But yeah, folks. So the Packers won this week. They won 27-18. Of course, I was at the game, so. Again, awesome experience. Lambeau, I mean, the fans, everything, best thing. It's like you're going to a college game day. It's the best thing. It's literally in the middle of a neighborhood, this stadium is. It's a great place to go to. Seats were excellent once again. And, I mean, the atmosphere there, it was unbelievable. I was surprised that there were a couple Bengal fans there. I had two Bengals fans sit right behind me, and then they left 5 minutes before the end of the game. So that was interesting to see. But yeah, I got to go to Sammy's as usual, folks. When you know me on the show, I recommend that place to get a good parking spot and also get a good discount at the restaurants. Good Italian stuff there. So recommend if you haven't been there already. Call in if you've already gone there before, but would recommend it for you. And then the tailgate, it was interesting to see, folks. Cole, you've probably seen it millions of times of like the different flags of like from different countries, like whether it's Jamaica, Canada, every single one. That's just amazing me of how you see different flags from all over the world at the Packer tailgates when you don't really see that at other teams' tailgates at all.
No, you don't see it. The tailgate scene at Lambeau Field is a different world. Yeah, Buffalo has their own different world. But Lambeau, I don't know, it's just unique. Everybody's there to have a good time, and they'll get to know you even if you're not a Packer fan. Yeah, it's just a fun time. Everybody's going to say hi to you. Wisconsin, as a Wisconsinite, everybody's so friendly.
Yep, that's true. That's so true. Again, folks, it was a great experience to go to. I could actually see like like from say the 50-yard line, and maybe see how every team's like schemed up a little bit more, seeing like who's in, who's out, like how's the play gonna go. Seeing where the players are sitting on the bench was a lot easier than I've seen in prior seasons because you could barely see that where I usually sit. But yeah, no, great game. Jordan Love had that terrible interception to start with, which
that was just a bad decision on his part. Should have thrown it out of bounds. He was already outside the pocket.
Absolutely agree. I absolutely agree with you, Cole. That was terrible. Despite it being tipped and everything, like that's a bad throw. You got to throw it away. I mean, there was a couple instances in that game where I was trying to understand what was Jordan doing. Like that's one. The people in my section know it very well, where he runs it. Try to get the first down, and he slides purposely right before the first down. I believe it was like towards the end. It was towards the end of the game when he could have easily gotten it, and I'm just like, what are we doing here? Because he wasn't like trying to tackle like he did in the prior drives. He actually tried to reach for like a Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes play, but he didn't do in that play, which kind of mind boggled me. And then I'll show it to Cole here and you guys here real quick because Cole, I do want your analysis on this player real quick if I can get it. Oh, hold on here. Yep, there we go. Okay. So what are your thoughts on that play?
I liked he did try to get it to the receiver. He was under pressure, but he also couldn't throw it at the ground. I couldn't see if Josh Jacobs was in the area or not, but I think he did try to get it to the receiver. Play it again real quick.
Okay. I'm trying to pause it real quick here, folks, for Cole.
He's trying to get it to Malik Heath, I believe that is.
I believe so. Or no, that's cool. I think that's Golden right there. That's Golden on the far left side.
That's okay. I mean, he is trying to get it to him. It is a dangerous throw because if there's another defender in front of Golden, that's an interception.
No, yeah, absolutely. I mean, my thing is like he could have like kind of done a little Russell Wilson back in his good days, Cole, where he could have like run around a little bit, try to like go far out. Because if you look, what is it? Right as soon as he comes, like he snaps the ball off a little bit. I feel like he could have rolled outside a little bit, like a little turnaround, and beat that defender. And then he had the left side of the field wide open to run and slide for that first down.
I have to agree with you on that, Jeremy. There was a lot of room, but it was also like he would have had to make that decision right then and there to roll out because the guy was on him right away.
No, absolutely. And then the other interesting thing I saw when I was watching this play earlier today was you had Romeo Dobbs on the far right side here, folks, with his big head, as I like to say here, was actually open for a touchdown this play here, folks. If had he not been pressured, like if he had like probably 2 more seconds to able to throw quick, folks, you can kind of see like right there, he has an open room to getting 2 Dobbs. Had he had like at least 2 seconds to throw, he would have had it right then and there because he was trying to go at it, folks. Because right there, right as soon as if he didn't throw it, he had him wide open for a touchdown. If he had sorted over the linebacker's head or safety, whatever it is there, that position, he had a chance to go get a touchdown there, folks.
There was no safety over the top.
Yeah.
If only he would have saw that and there wasn't a blitz happening right then and there.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, folks, that's the play for that, just because I wanted to share the play of Cole because I want to get his deep dive analysis on that one. But, sorry, we got Mike Tomlin here real quick. That's my bad, folks. But, so real quick here, Cole, what are your thoughts here on Jordan Love so far this season?
I feel like his decision-making has been the best that he's had since his starting 10 years as a Packers quarterback. First 2 years, you could tell that he was very hesitant. This year, he knows what he's doing. I feel like the first play of the game with that 20-yard reception to Romeo Dobbs, steps up in the pocket, beautiful throw. Maybe could have let him a little bit, but I don't think, though, that was in the perfect spot. Fell down 20 yards right off the bat. So he made a good decision there. He knew when to run the ball in that first drive. Obviously, it didn't end the way we wanted it to with that interception, but I feel like his decision-making has improved a lot.
Yes. I think it's I agree to a certain extent. Like, it's definitely improved from what like last year definitely was, because last year he was being a bit more Brett Favre than like a little Aaron Rodgers, because that's what the comparison is like he has Aaron's like techniques, he's got all the stuff, but he acts like Brett Favre on the field and just tries to throw that ball right to a defender no matter what. But that's definitely improved. I think there's like still some things like he could definitely improve upon, and it's still learning, growing for him. But like they're like obviously the interception, we got to throw it away. Running, you got to know where the first down marker is to get that first down, because that almost did cost the Packers the game had the Bengals came all the way back and they had that ridiculous touchdown to Jamar Chase, which was insane to me with that play.
I don't know how that wasn't pass interference.
I'm with you there. I was like trying to figure out how that's not pass interference. Also, how do we not get that ball out of his hands either? No, but that was ridiculous to see there, folks. Because Joe Flacco looked pretty good despite his age and everything. He looked pretty good at the quarterback position, despite having like 2 seconds to throw. He kept throwing it every single time, 5 yards every single time to the running back, wide receiver, tight end, first down marker every single time, and then it just kept being that way. It kept being that way, and was just annoying to see that. He didn't take any deep shots, really, from what I remember. I don't know if Cole, if you remember, if he took any deep shots in that game.
Jordan Love?
Joe Flacco.
I don't think so. It was more short routes because he was not used to the offense, I believe.
Okay, gotcha.
Like he was a week before Tuesdays when he got traded, and he was given the starting role right away, and it was a bunch of short routes that led to bigger plays.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, it was just annoying to see for the defense perspective. I also wanted to get your thoughts on the defense from this past week, because the defense, I mean, honestly, it did its part, but towards the second half and towards the end of the game, we couldn't make a stop, and it just was taking a long time for the Bengals to like get a touchdown or get points on the board. It kept taking forever for them. And Micah Parsons, I mean, there were times he was getting held up and there should have been a holding call in the offense, but it didn't happen, of course. So What was your thoughts on the defense in this game?
There were some egregious holding penalties that were not called.
Yeah.
I remember seeing one play. Micah Parsons was literally getting choked around the neck. Don't know how that wasn't called. There was 2 back judges back there. I feel like our pass rush could have been better. I mean, we have 2 sacks in the last 2 games. That is not acceptable, especially with this outstanding front 7 that we have. Yeah, we don't have Devontae Wyatt healthy right now, but as soon as he's back, we'll be a fully healthy front 7.
Yep.
But I feel like we should be performing even without Devontae Wyatt.
No, absolutely. I mean, like, especially with the point of the trade was, Cole, to get Micah Parsons to solve this issue. It was to solve this pass rush issue once again. And, I mean, it did look good in that Lions game, of course. But you're expecting to have Rashawn Gary, Lucas Van Ness, Devontae Wyatt, you just mentioned, to step up and actually stop them.
Yeah, it's just weird to see, like, I guess Micah Parsons isn't, like, fully 100%. I remember talking with a buddy of mine about this. He didn't play football for 4 months for a contract dispute, and 10 days before the season, he gets traded.
Yep.
So that didn't help because he was probably out of shape. His back was still bothering him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Micah Parsons isn't 100% yet, but when he is, I feel like he'll be that monster for us. But he also is getting double teamed on 90% of the snaps.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't expect him to be perfect when he's getting double teamed every other down.
No, absolutely, and that's what it goes back to. Other guys have to step up because we saw last year this Packers team, especially this defense, our defense was fantastic at everything, but the pass rush, it was there all day for the quarterbacks to like had 10, 20 seconds to throw, especially in like the Jared Goff Lions game, both times where we lost them. You could see how many times we were very close to beating the Lions, but Jared Goff had so much time to throw. Had we had a pass rush or an actual pass rush game, the game could have definitely been different on both ends there.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. I feel like our secondary could improve too. Carrington Valentine didn't need to celebrate on that breakup against Jamar Chase because then he scored the play after.
Yeah.
You can't do that to world-class talents like Jamar Chase or T. Higgins, the best wide receiver duo in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we locked them up pretty decent, but they still ended up putting in damage against us. Keyshawn Nixon is the best cornerback on our team right now, which is weird to say given that he was a return specialist, not a cornerback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I will give Keyshawn credit. He did well last year in the nickel, despite the hate he gets. I mean, that's one bright spot. I mean, Carrington Valentine, I agree with you, Cole. Like, it reminded me a little bit of Jair Alexander, just a little bit of his personality, a little bit. He's trying to be Jair, but it's just like, I mean, he did overall pretty good, I will say, like throughout the game. I mean, that play there was just ridiculous to see there. But I mean, teams are figuring out this defense is like the secondaries are a weak spot and they're taking advantage because technically the Packers are number one run defense, but that doesn't matter when our secondary is getting cooked back there and we're not able to make stops with like Nate Hobbs. What has he done? I haven't seen him really progress when we signed him from the Raiders this past offseason. We have Carrington Valentine, you just mentioned, of course, and then you got Keyshawn Nixon and maybe it's a little Bill Melton time, I like to say. I don't know if I'm going to say that for Packer fans.
I have not seen him out there playing meaningful snaps, and I do want to see him get out there and actually see what he can do at the cornerback spot because Matt LaFleur kept him on the squad for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted him because he is probably the hardest worker on the team.
Mm-hmm.
From switching from wide receiver to cornerback and earning his spot on the roster, he should be able to – I feel like he should be out there more instead of – like rotate around, take Carrington Valentine out for a snap or Javon Bullard for a snap.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. And then I think the most surprising so far for me on this defense, Cole, is the takeaways. We're not getting that many takeaways as last year, as you've seen Xavier McKinney, he got so many takeaways. That surprised me. What do you think about that?
It is weird not seeing Xavier McKinney not get like 8 straight interceptions in 8 straight games. He was a Pro Bowler. I think he was an All-Pro last year too.
He was. Yep.
It's weird that he's not putting in that. He's not producing like he was. Evan Williams is putting in work too. I love to see that, but I feel like we should have more takeaways as a defense. I know that our cornerbacks aren't stellar. Our safeties are we have one of the best safeties in the league in Xavier McKinney, and up and coming one in Evan Williams, a former 5th-round draft pick, something like that.
Yep.
Our linebacker core, Edrin Cooper, Isaiah McDuffie, and Quay Walker, very good core there. Quay Walker, great leader. Edrin Cooper, I feel like he has Pro Bowler written all over him one day. But yeah, like you said, we need to produce more turnovers. Go for the ball if it's running back. Make sure the safeties over the top help and not leave the cornerback on an island.
No, yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, I think especially the takeaways, we saw how this game was coming so close, Cole, from the Bengals game. Like they were creeping up, and you just really needed one takeaway or make a couple stops against this Bengals offense, and then the Packers would have blown up even more, like how the Lions usually blow out their opponents. Easily could have been a huge blowout game. Instead, you did give up a garbage time TD, I will say, towards the end of bids, but they kept it in for a very long time, I will say, for the Packers Bengals game, though.
Yeah. Just trying to think of what to say. The Packers defense has some work to improve on. Jeff Hafley needs to change the chips around. He needs to figure out his final chess pieces that he needs to play.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff Hafley did great first year last year, and I think there's a lot to improve on this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I definitely agree. And then kind of switch over from the defense. What were your takes on the offense?
Josh Jacobs finally had a good breakout game. 18 attempts for 93 yards and 2 touchdowns, 5 receptions and 57 yards. Mm-hmm. Putting in work both in the air and on the ground. You love to see that. Yep. He is currently 2nd in the league in rushing touchdowns.
Nice.
Only behind Jonathan Taylor.
Makes sense.
But yeah, he's doing good. Not where I want to see him in yards with only 359, but he's going to get there. Like last year, running game wasn't the strongest at the beginning, but it slowly worked its way up once we figured out our rhythm. Receivers-wise, Jaden Reed, I wish that he was healthy, man. I feel like he could have been a 1,000-yard receiver if he was healthy this year, but I don't know if he'll get it with the broken collarbone. Tucker Kraft, currently our leading receiver. That's kind of surprising. But he's an insane tight end. Could be one of the best in the league for years to come. And Romeo Doubs and Matthew Golden are putting in their work with injuries with Christian Watson and Jaden Reed out.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. I mean, I always just get annoyed with LaFleur not using Kraft enough because he only had 2 catches for 43 yards, and obviously he had that touchdown, and then he had that 22-yard catch. But I feel like if you get him more involved, this offense could really take it to the next level. Obviously, he put 27 points on the board, but Tucker Kraft could really help this offense a lot more. And then same thing with Matthew Golden. I get we're as an organization and what we've done with quarterbacks especially is we like to slow them in, reel them in, not put them in right away fast, and how the Bucs are doing with Mecca Buku's now hurt. I would like to see a bit more Matthew Golden action here, especially that connection too, because I think Matthew Golden is ready. He's ready to make an impact. And you saw those overhead catches where he just nails it in to make that first down, crucial downs. He did it twice, I remember, which are pretty awesome.
Yeah, Matthew Golden, this was definitely his best game of the year so far. Looking up his stats for the
3
game.
3 catches, 86 receiving yards.
Only 3 catches? I could have swore he had more, but...
He was targeted 5 times. Yeah.
Romeo Doubs put in his work.
He did.
Matthew Golden is still looking for that first touchdown of his career, but Matthew Golden is definitely ready. Gutekunst drafted him for a reason.
Yep.
He said he has the best hands in the draft, and I believe that is true. And like you said with Tucker Kraft, we need to use him more. Mm-hmm. Matt LaFleur comes from the Mike Shanahan tree, and look at Kyle Shanahan. He used George Kittle, and look at what George Kittle did. Mm-hmm. Perennial All-Pro, and Tucker Kraft can be that. If Matt LaFleur can learn to use his tight ends.
Yeah, I agree. I think that has to be you got to use it a bit more because we saw last year too when Kraft was involved, he excelled on every single play when thrown to. He did pretty well on every single play. Yeah, it's just him. And then Musgrave, I would like to see, He's not the best, but you would just like to see like a little more out of him. You would like to see. I mean, he's not the best, but again, you like to see a little bit more out of him. And then, as you mentioned about Jane Reed, we should be getting the weapons back soon, get the cavalry back with him, Christian Watson. I mean, he got off the IR, so he should be practicing this week. I doubt he plays Sunday, folks. Definitely maybe in time for the Pittsburgh game against our old quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Then you also have Marshawn Lloyd, our RB2, was supposed to be the start of the season. He should be back in a couple weeks as well. So Packers will be getting some cavalry back. Well, what are you? It's again go more in the offense here, Cole. What has been your opinion here on this O line?
I was happy to see that our O line was finally fully healthy again. Sean Ryan didn't start in place of Jordan Morgan, which I found a little bit confusing because wasn't a fan of Jordan Morgan at tackle when he was there last year and a little bit of this year. That's just not his spot. He's a guard, and I like him better at guard, so that's a good spot for him. Aaron Banks. Elton Jenkins did say that he is not playing to his best potential. And I was talking with somebody that I do a radio show with. He thinks that Elton Jenkins should move back to guard, put Sean Ryan at center, move Aaron Banks to right guard. That's his take. I kind of see it, kind of don't. I think Elton Jenkins, very versatile, can be that starting center for us. He's done it before, and I think he can do it this year still.
No, I agree. I wouldn't. For me, I just don't want to mess with the chemistry because Jenkins and Love have been there forever. So I really want to mess with that chemistry a lot. That's my take on it.
That's a good take. We lost Josh Myers over the offseason this year. No, last year. I forget.
This past year, I believe. Yes, it was this past year because then that's why we went to get Banks and then moved the guys all around like Jenkins to center because Myers went to the Giants, I think. No, that was
the Jets.
Jets. Thank you. Runyon went to the Giants. That's right, folks. That's why I don't want to mess with that chemistry. However, I wouldn't be shocked at the end of the season if they want to cut Elton Jenkins to save a bit in the cap space and then try to draft another O-lineman, which, I mean, again, I like you developing the O-line because we're very good at developing O-linemen and we turn like 6th round, 5th round, 7th round picks into pretty good players like Rasheed Walker, left tackle for us from Penn State. But
Zach Tom, too. He was an undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
But it would suck to see Elton Jenkins go, but I get why we would release him because necessary cap space if we want to sign people or draft people. Somebody in the offense that I want to see us use more is Savion Williams.
I agree. I like him.
You saw his highlights in college from TCU, and he is a hard man to bring down. He's very tall, very agile, and we're using him more in the return game. But I also want to see him running deep fly routes down the sideline and have Jordan Love heave the ball to him and see what he can do.
No, I agree. I think I don't know if this player comes to your mind, Cole, but when I think of Savion, and this is what I said about him when I was doing my draft preview about him and when we drafted him, was he reminds me of Cordell Patterson a lot, where he can be a Swiss Army knife in the run game, the pass game, the return game, put him any type of position except like quarterback and tight end, of course. He can do pretty well in. And I mean, I really I love him in the return game for us because he's done a fantastic job. I really like him there. I would put him over Golden because I don't like Golden in the punt return really because every time I'm seeing him in the punt return, he just looks a little wary and a little shaky, not know what to do. So I try to give it to the veteran guy, but Savion, I think he's done a pretty good job at that. But having that being said, the offensively, I think you have to get him a little bit more involved in trick plays. Now, I'm not talking about the wide receiver screens because those have not been working out for LaFleur. They just have been pretty bad. Every time they try to do blocking. Now, I do like when last year, I remember they ran it a couple times. I think it was in the Dolphins or maybe the Saints game too, where Jacobs rolls out to his left and then the O linemen kind of don't block and they all start running over to the left side and then Love throws it to Jacobs and they start running down the field. That's a play I could get behind. But the jet sweeps, the wide receiver screens are not working out for me. So I don't like that, especially for Savion. He was very close to getting concussion multiple times, guys.
Yeah. I don't like the jet sweeps. We run them at least twice a game, and they
Yes.
don't produce a lot of yards. 5 yards max, maybe.
Yeah.
Usually we'll be stopped at the line or gain a yard or two. That's just not acceptable in this league. We need to be able to not run these predictable plays. Unlike on 3rd and 10 or like 3rd and 15, why are we running the ball?
Yeah.
Just pass the ball, take a chance. It's 3rd down, and if you don't complete the pass, it's 4th down, you punt it.
Mm-hmm.
But
No.
I don't know. LaFleur's play calling, like especially in that Browns game, very, very conservative, and that's not what I thought LaFleur was going to be for us.
No, I agree. I like this. I mean, we did see him try to be aggressive a little in the Cowboys game. We saw him be a little bit more aggressive, but again, like that's the thing with LaFleur I've seen over the years, Cole, with is him being more conservative. Like you don't see him try to be aggressive as much, like a Dan Campbell, for example, where he's very too aggressive. But when it's 4th and 2 and you're inside like your 30 and like the score is like it's close, but like you don't really like you could go for it and like seeing how your defense has been able to stop them all game. I think that's fine to go for the 4th and 2, but like the way they come up with the plays, like usually when it's like that very close to 4th and 2, it gets so close to them messing up every single time. I swear when watching them.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one. Our 4th down play calling isn't very good either from Matt LaFleur. I like him being aggressive, especially on that first drive.
Yep.
We had a new kicker in Haversack.
Yep.
Didn't trust him yet, and I believe that he did earn his trust this game. But I like him being aggressive. A little bit of Dan Campbell right there, because Dan Campbell almost never punts on 4th down when he's on the 50-yard line.
That's true.
I do. Yeah. Matt LaFleur just needs to be more aggressive with his play calling. More shots downfield, less little screen outs, like you said. They don't work. Less jet sweeps.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to see our offensive line be a little bit more dominant in the run game, like we were last year. We have, it was rough, the Browns game and the Cowboys game.
Yeah, that was definitely rough. That was absolutely rough. But speaking of the kicker, as you just mentioned, so you were very happy with him, with his progress now, as he's now a member of the practice squad for the Packers.
He's not on the active roster anymore? I forget.
No, I don't believe he's on the active roster.
Will Brandon McManus be ready to go?
I believe Brandon McManus will be ready to go this week. If he isn't able to, then Harsick will be ready to go, of course. But the indication is McManus should be ready to go this week against Arizona.
But yeah, good for Braden Haversack. He was a substitute teacher, and 24 hours before the game, he gets the call from the Packers. You're going to be playing for us. And he performed. He was 3 for 3 on extra points, 2 for 2 on field goals. Love to see it. And if he gets his name out there and gets signed by a team that needs a kicker, good for him. Because obviously Brandon McManus is our kicker right now, and can't go away from him after we had so many kicking struggles after Mason Crosby.
It was brutal. It was really brutal. I mean, I really liked Haversack, like especially in the warm-ups too. Like he was doing pretty well from the 45 to 55 range. He was doing pretty well. I mean, that was also going the same for the Bengals kicker, despite like him being 1 for 3 and everything. Like
I do remember seeing that clip of Evan McPherson making that 67-yarder after Matt LaFleur called the timeout. That would have been cool that he broke the NFL record at Lambeau Field.
That was insane to watch, because I thought nobody called timeout at first, and I actually thought he was like I thought he was going to make it in from being that range. Just from seeing him in the warm-ups, he was doing very well from that kind of range. So I mean, I was a bit nervous, and then obviously the doink happens, and I'm like, and then I was like thinking about the Bears game or the Bears doink game. So I was just like, oh geez, well, he's got to have like ridicule on us again, and then. Thank goodness LaFleur called timeouts. The one time he doesn't waste a timeout, or his timeout for freezing the kicker actually works. One time in like 50 attempts.
He didn't even come close to making it. He made it the first time. It bounced in. But second time wasn't even close. Keyshawn Nixon returned it for a decent amount before getting tackled. Yeah, Matt LaFleur, good timeout calls there. Didn't waste them.
No, absolutely. I mean, the Packers, they needed a win. They needed a win here,
This was definitely a needed to win. Yeah,
despite being how the record is just weird to me. 3-1-1 when theoretically we could be undefeated right now as a Packers team, but we're not. Um, we're not, but we are in first place in the NFC North, so I can't complain. And second seed in the NFC, I believe, as well. So I can't complain. But you would definitely like to see his team improve a bit, despite beating the Bengals here, who were not really in the race right now for the playoffs or like being a contender team. Cardinals, they're a little, but not really. Again, like you gotta win these games. You gotta take care of business. The Packers did take care of business here. So moving on.
Yeah.
So they gotta take care of business there though.
Yeah, going on Packers versus the Cardinals. Packers definitely need to contain Kyler Murray. He's currently leading the Cardinals in rushing with 173 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely need to contain him because he's a very mobile quarterback and cannot let him get around you because then he'll just burn you.
That's true, but he might not be in playing Cole because he did not start, and it's looking like he might not play. So it might be Jacoby Brissett as the
That's
quarterback.
right. I think I saw that. I just forgot.
But he did have a good, solid game. He did have a solid game this past Sunday against the Colts. He was solid, surprisingly. I think the big concern, you got to watch out for Trey McBride. I think that's the number one concern you got to watch out from the offense. Marvin Harrison Jr. might not be playing. I forget if it might be a concussion. I think he's dealing with something like
those
that.
Two, even if he does play, those two are their offense: 338 yards and 347 yards respectively. Trey McBride with the leader.
Mm-hmm.
We need to contain those guys if they both play. Zay Jones could be another threat.
Yes.
If Marvin Harrison's out, Zay Jones will be a big threat. Very fast receiver.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Trey Benson as well needs to be contained.
Trey Benson is on the IR.
I don't know why I'm forgetting all this stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
No, it's because I remember it, Cole, because of my fantasy football team. It's supposed to be Michael Carr, who I have in fantasy, but he really didn't. They decided not to start him for some odd reason when he pretty much did a great job the week before. He got like 20-something points here. That's just me there on that end for fantasy. But they have him, and then they have, I think it's, what's his name? Bam Knight. Yeah, Bam Knight is basically the goal line work RB, and he's mostly involved with the late downs, but it's mostly the goal line work he gets a lot with. And that's it for the running back room because obviously James Conner went down. Then Trey Benson is out for a couple weeks. And then I don't think there's anybody I'm thinking of on the offensive side besides Harrison is banged up too. And Murray. Yeah, that's about it. I think on the offensive banged up guys. I don't know anybody on the defense though for banged ups.
No, but I do think the Packers need to watch out for Calais Campbell. Yeah, he's very old, but he's also a leader who will motivate his guys to perform better. Mac Wilson, linebacker, currently leading the team with 50 tackles, along with Akeem Davis-Gaither. Yep. Always got to watch out for Buda Baker as well. Very dangerous safety.
Buda Baker is very good, and you also got to watch out for Josh Sweat too.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are.
He's currently leading them with 5 sacks in the year, so that's a big guy we need to watch out for.
Especially when watching him from Philadelphia Eagles perspective, guys, he was pretty good and helped them. And one of the reasons why the Eagles won Super Bowl was because of that man right there. He helped them out, especially when the plays need to happen. He was that guy there. He was that play there. And then there will be some Packer reunions, guys. There will be some Packer reunions. We get to see our old good punter called Pat O'Donnell, the punter now for the Cardinals. So we'll get to see him out there. And then we also get to see Bill Melton's brother, Max Melton.
That'll be fun to watch. They're not going to be on offense and defense, both on defense this time. More than likely, Bo Melton will be on special teams only, which I don't like, but oh well. But yeah, that'll be cool to see. didn't realize Pat O'Donnell was the punter for the Cardinals.
Mhm.
Kind of flew under the radar for me.
Mhm.
But this Cardinal team we should win. If we
Mhm.
don't win, I don't know what we're gonna do.
I'm with you there. So what are your keys to the game here for the Packers to win?
Shut down Trey McBride, Marvin Harrison, more than likely not going to play. Like you said, Kyler Murray, probably not going to play. Jacoby Brissett will perform if he plays his cards right, so watch out for him.
Mm-hmm.
We need to avoid Buda Baker and Josh Sweat on
Yes.
the offensive side of the ball because they are very, very good players and they will attack your weaknesses if we exploit them.
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. And my keys, folks, again for the game, is so run the ball is the number one thing because I think when the Packers, when you're able to run the ball, especially Matt LaFleur's offense, this team gets definitely more confident. It helps them able to do more plays than necessary. So I think it helps Jordan get relieved. It helps take a little bit pressure off for the Packers a bit. So I think running the ball is the number one thing. Number two, obviously you mentioned before, Cole, containing Trey McBride, I think is the number one crucial thing right then and there. Number three, get pressure and sack Jacoby Brissett. We need pass rush once again. And then the fourth thing, because I want to throw it in there just for the heck of it, is get turnovers, Packers. Defense has to get turnovers here because we need a turnover here. And looking at the Cardinals, they're from the past couple games, Cole, their last 4 games have all been loss. However, they've all been one-scored games. Lost to the 49ers, 16-5. Lost to the Seahawks, 23-20. Lost to the Titans, 22-21. Lost to the Colts, 31-27.
Yeah, this Cardinal team cannot close out games this year. Like you saw, especially in the Titans game, they completely I'm not going to say the word, but they didn't do well.
Yeah.
But yeah, we need to exploit that. If they can't finish games, we should be able to finish games like we were this past weekend. We didn't finish the game against the Browns, but we did finish the game against the Cowboys despite the tie.
Yep.
So we need to finish the game over the Cardinals, and I think we can do it, especially with them being this injury ridden.
No, I agree. So what is your score prediction then for the Packers?
I'm gonna go. Let's do 28-14.
I will say Packers, of course. 30. I'm feeling a 30 burger here, finally, for this offense to break out even more. And I will say 17. 30-17 Packers. I'll go with that,
Right.
folks. I will say that. Cole, before we sign off here, wanted to get your thoughts real quick on the NFC North. What do you think, or even the NFC picture for this Packers here? Where do you see the Packers line up in this conference, or even the division of the NFC North?
I do think that if they can finish out games and have Matt LaFleur call a good game and not be conservative, we can win the NFC North. And I think we can get a top 2 seed if our record is good enough. But if not, I say 5 seed if the Lions end up winning it. I don't think they will. I feel like they're a little bit less strong than they were last year. So let's hope that they can win it this year for the first time since 2021.
Yep. It's been a while, folks. It's been a while since the Packers have won it. And then I want to do a quick fun segment here for Cole because I like to do this with a Packer fan guest when we come on. So Cole, since you're the Packers fan here, if you could pick one player from the Packers history to be on this team right now and to make a huge impact for that, help the Packers win, who is the former Packer you would take to help this team right now to get one step closer to win the Super Bowl?
That's a tough one. That's a tough one, Jeremy. Help us win the Super Bowl. I'd have to go with let's go Jordy Nelson help our injured wide receiver core.
There we go. Love that
I miss
answer.
that man.
He's the greatest. He was the wide receiver before Cooper Kupp. Everybody, nobody knows really about Jordy. He was what Cooper Kupp was if he was a number one wide receiver for a team.
Yeah, Jordy Nelson was definitely underrated for his time.
No,
definitely
absolutely.
very
He
underrated.
was absolutely, yeah, very underrated, folks. Very underrated there. But folks, that will do it here. Cole, we thank you again for coming
Thanks
on
for
and
having me.
being
It
a
was
guest.
a lot of fun.
Thank you. Before we sign out, Cole, where can the people find you? Because we always love to help give shout out to the guests that come on. So where can the people find you?
So I broadcast sports at my school, UW Stevens Point.
Nice.
Instagram, Cole Schneider 50. Snapchat, Coleslaw5032. Don't have a professional account yet, but I'm working on that.
Nice.
Reach out to me if you want to listen to me call games. I'll send you the link.
Nice. There we go, folks. So that's where you can catch Cole here. For me, of course, you know where to catch me is obviously our Twitter channel here as we're live streaming on the PackReacts Twitter. And shout out to the folks that I made friends with over the weekend, especially my section here. So shout out to all them. And you can also check me on the YouTube channel too, where I am currently working on my Packers Bengals vlog right now. So I'm going to try to have that out tomorrow at best as I can or before Friday. I'm going to try my best time. Then I'm also working on my GOAT series video, folks, which you guys have enjoyed so far. We're on season 3, and we're going to the 1990s decade of who's the greatest players in each decade. So we started from right now, the 2010s, and we're going all the way back to the 1920s, folks. So yeah, that will do it, folks. And as always, go Pack, go. Have a great week.